"2019, here we come!" So after leaving Ramona Oaks RV Resort, we got to stay there for 5 days after our job ended. We moved on over to Dos Picos County Park. We were already familiar with Dos Picos as we'd visited there before, and many campers that would stay just part-time at our RV park would take their 2 weeks on with us and then their 1 week off over here at Dos Picos, so we were familiar with it, and it was an easy transition over here for 2 weeks. As it was a county park, it was very affordable as well. We'd start off most of our mornings, of course, with our morning coffee and a bite to eat, and then we would take the ducks out for a little walk over to the pond. They seemed to enjoy their outings very much. Of course, we did as well. It drew a lot of attention also because there were already resident ducks at the pond. Turns out both wild ducks as well as domestic ducks, you'll see in another clip here, but the park rangers were so fascinated by this that we were camping with our ducks. We asked, of course, first if it was okay, and they said, yeah, go ahead, bring them on over to the pond. It was probably about a quarter mile of a walk from our RV site on the trail over to the pond, and we did this almost every single day while we were there. After coming back from our morning adventure, we would make a trip over to the library in town. Of course, we needed some serious Wi-Fi time to get some stuff done. File for unemployment and job hunt. So this was a pretty stressful time, but at least we had each other and our ducks to keep our minds off the stress and the uncertainty of what was ahead. Okay, let's go to the duck pond again. In addition to the duck pond, there were also hiking trails and a playground and other recreational equipment things that you can do there. So, it was a nice routine that we were able to do for these 2 weeks kind of off where, working at the library, heading out in the morning after a little duck adventure, another little recreational time in the early evenings when we got back. So on only our second or third day there, taking the ducks to the pond, we encountered, or we saw, up on this little grassy island, quite a sight. There were other domestic ducks. So of course there were mallards and all type of normal wild ducks, but up on the island there were ducks, and one of them looked almost exactly like our caper-doodle-doo. That's Caper right there. So I'm going to zoom in on a picture of him in just a moment, but let's let our ducks have a little splash time first. This is their favorite thing to do. Alright, so here's that flock of ducks, and a little close-up you can see the one black one right there. He looks just like ours. And then so what happened was we found that there was a lady, and she would come twice a day. She lived right down the street, and this was kind of her hobby. And she would bring a big bag of produce, lettuce, and things like that these ducks love to eat. And she would actually feed these domestic ducks every evening just to make sure that they were able to manage out here on their own. They were probably bought from the Tractor Supply, just like ours, right down the street, literally like 6 miles away. And then people probably didn't want them and then dumped them here at the pond. Alright, and this is the morning of waking up bright and early before the sun even rises after our 2-week stay at Dos Picos. The good news, we found a new job and we are on our way to our next adventure. Happy trails! Our new job will start in approximately 6 weeks. We have a week of training to do before our job starts when we get there. Goodbye to Southern California. Goodbye to Ramona, California. It has been awesome, and our new RV adventure begins now.